Hello everyone, I'm Eszter Vajda and welcome to Hometown Talents and Treasures. On this edition, we'll talk to CASA volunteers about how they help children of neglect and abuse. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and they're housed under Family Services of the Merrimack Valley, a nonprofit organization. Find out how you can get involved and why this is such an important service for families in Essex County.
We are appointed by the court, so with that comes a lot of responsibility. What we do is we visit the child, we are the voice of the child, but we also work with the social workers, the lawyers, the judges. We create reports, we're fact finders, we have access to all of the children's reports and doctors' records, and we review everything to be sure that this child's best interest is being served and that they are getting the care that they need. And ultimately, we are the fact finders and the eyes and the ears for the judge on an ongoing basis. So we follow the child through the life of the case to make sure that they're getting the attention, the protection, and being as safe as possible as they can be in their environment.
I started with CASA in about 2007 in Springfield, Hampden County. When I was a teacher, early childhood education, I had a few abused and neglected children in my classroom. And I had social workers who would come in and out for reports and hearings as well. And I had a couple that I haven't seen all year, and I actually, told them that they should be more frequent in the child's life, and they told me that I did not have a voice. That prompted me to become a CASA, going through law school, doing a little bit more about juvenile and family law, and then I found the CASA program in Springfield.
Care and protection system is very overwhelmed. There are a lot of people involved. You have the social workers, the judges, the lawyers, all of which have an overwhelming amount of cases that they need to handle. And there's just not enough time for them to go out and visit these children as much as they need to really understand and get to know the child and understand what the needs are for these children. So a CASA only has at most 2 cases, whereas a social worker could have upwards of 20 cases that they need to stay on top of.
Some of the barriers may be resources, where you might not have a resource for that particular language. It also might be getting that child to see a counselor of some sort, dealing with therapy, being on a waiting list for over 6 months. Just think about so many children and thinking about so many workers, how many cases that they're able to have. And so the resources might be an issue besides the court, the system and time, and wanting to be able to get the case adjudicated or done. So there's different types of lack of resources.
Tell me about the training that goes into it.
So it's about 30-hour training that goes involved with CASA, and it's formulated as a group. So it's discussions that we talk about. We go through the manual, the CASA manual, and we go through different classes, and it's talking about how to deal with a child who's abused and neglected, your limitations and your boundaries and different parties that might be involved, and also scenarios that might take place. And then at the end of the training, there is the swearing-in ceremony at the juvenile court. When you walk into their classroom and they remember you, whether it was from a few years ago or just a few months ago, and you're that person that they see frequently, whether they're achieving from not knowing how to speak English to now they're able to say certain things or they know their numbers, but also knowing that they have someone to support and advocate for them in court. I think the satisfaction is having someone on their side, being that voice where everyone is busy or there's so much going on in this world that you're that person consistently in their life.
That's our show. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.